I'm doing a review and build on the Bellus tank. The Bellus tank from Wick Technologies. There it is. There it is. This was sent to me by gearbest.com for the purposes of review, and they sent me this eVic Mini as well. And in a moment here, I'm going to show you some up close. We'll break the tank down. We'll see what came in the packaging with it. I'm going to do a build on this, and then we're going to talk about how it vapes, but I'll give you a little spoiler right now. Vape's great. Incredibly rich, dense vapor. The flavor's incredible on this. I really like it. I'll show you some unique things about this between the airflow and this rifling pattern on the inside of the drip tip and the chimney. This is a really good tank. I'm enjoying the flavor and the vape on this. Really nice. Quality tank, worth owning. Let's go ahead and dive down.
This is the Bellus tank from Wick Technologies out of Shenzhen, China. Wick stands for Unification of Design. This is an RTA, rebuildable tank atomizer, and this is the package it comes in, the Bellus. It has a scratch authenticity code. Here are the specs on the back. I'll open this up and show you a little more clear in a second. But it is a 5 milliliter capacity top fill. Interesting side intake airflow. I'll show you that in a minute. Very similar to the Aromamizer. 100% no leak design. Okay, and they claim that this has the flavor of a dripper in a tank. So let's open this up, take a look at the parts that come with it, take a look at the up close details, and then I'm going to do a build, vape on it, talk to you about the experience. So here is the tank itself. We'll get some close-ups in a minute. Very nice looking, sleek tank. Looks good. Here's this airflow. These 16 holes there, 16 holes there. The Bellus. It's got an interesting, unique rifled pattern on the inside of the chimney and drip tip. I'll show you that in a minute. Let's see what else comes in this package. We've got a spare glass sleeve. This is rolled up, just a sheet of Japanese organic cotton, which we're not going to use right now. It comes with all these spare parts, spare O-rings, spare gaskets, spare this thing here you put if you want to close off half of the deck for a single coil build. Then you use this, and I'll show you that when we get it open. It also came with a couple of pre-built coils, contact coils, not spaced coils. So that's what one of the pre-built looks like. All right, that's all that comes in this box. There's a nice schematic here of, let me close in on that. It's a diagram of the different parts. There's how it top fills, and there's your specs again. So, first things first, top fill on this guy. I wish there was some kind of knurling on the top to grab it. If you can't, you're going to have to, here's the trick. If you can't get a grip on that, just wrap a rubber band around it, and then you'll have no problems unscrewing that. Okay, so this seal, there's an extra one of those in the parts kit. And here's your top fill. So you're going to use one hole to fill and the other for release of back pressure. All right. Further disassembling this. Here's the base, 510. Looks like it's adjustable. Do not use this with hybrid mech mods. In fact, don't use this with mech mods at all. The whole purpose of having a rebuildable tank is that you can adjust the wattage and the power that you want. So putting it on a mech mod is really pointless. Okay, you take that locking ring off, and then the deck just pulls out It's held in there. It fits into that notch on the deck, fits into the groove on the housing on either side. That's how it lines up. This O-ring keeps it snug. And then there's your tank housing, and here is your deck. Now let's look at this. Airflow is not from the bottom. It comes in from the sides. The airflow comes in directly to the coil from the outside of the tank on either side. Okay, do you see this little divot here? That is, if you wanted to do single coil mode, you would close it off by pushing, and you push that right in there, and it seals up the juice channels. It seals up the airflow, and it just fills in all the volume of space on this side of the deck with insulative material. So that's how you do single coil mode. And these are your juice wicking channels. They're very big. That chimney again. That rifling. Now you can really get a good clear view of that rifling. Okay, let's build on it. This tank reassembles very simply. It's easier when it's wet. I just gave this a very thorough cleaning with degreaser. Using a supersonic cleaner would be a good idea. I found a very ugly, sharp metal turning on the inside of this tank when I first opened it up. So you want to line up these tabs with those notches. Give it a good squeeze in there. And then this locking ring tightens the whole thing down. Okay, I'm not going to force that. I would put a little juice on the threads to lube them up a little bit. That'll get me a better seal. All right, let's do the build. I'm going to use their pre-made coils. I am at Vape Escape in Bayshore, Long Island, New York. So there will be the sound of vape shop life going on behind me. For this build, I'm going to use the stock coils that came with the tank. These are a 2.5 millimeter diameter. Makes it that much easier. I'm going to make a suggestion. Clip one of these leads a little bit shorter. They'll go in a lot easier. There we go, just like that. Push it right up close to the deck. So now that I have one side in, I got to get the other side in. I loosened the screws back up, and I'm holding this in place with a screwdriver and my finger. But okay, I managed, and the same way I did before, pushing this coil right up against the post, and I'm going to hold it in place with my finger. Now I'm going to tighten these down. Listen, it's going to be ugly, and then we clean it up. Okay, there we go. How are we looking? Ugly. Bend these leads up. Prettier. This one got a little ugly on this side. Let me clean that one up. Pulling up and out. Pulling up and out. How are we looking now? Very pretty. It doesn't have to be perfect. See my resistance. 0.97. 0.92. Oh, look, it's jumping around. This ohm reader is not good. Clip my leads. Make sure I'm tightened down. Nice. Nice. Okay. So, I'm just going to clean these up a little bit. We want them the same height above the deck and the same distance out from the deck. This one is a little bit further out than this one. So guess what? One of them is going to heat up a little bit faster than the other. I don't care. It'll vape just fine. So the legs on this one ended up being a little too long. But it's fine. I know it'll vape well. And I'm not going to go and try and fix it because the coils are in. I'm done with this build, quite frankly. Let's see what the resistance ohms out at. We don't want to pulse coils at 96 watts. 20 watts, 15 watts. That's all you need. Just need to get some heat. That's all. There. Oh, look how nice. Okay. So the one with the shorter legs. Actually, this one has longer legs, but this is the one that heated up. So you pinch the coil that glowed quicker. This side's glowing nicely. This one, not so good yet. It's all right. Little pinch, little Trevor Jones strumming action. Now how are we looking? Okay, getting better. I'll show you where I'm going to tweak. On the inside of this coil. Here we go. This needed a pinch on the inside. Just like that. There it is. Beautiful. Beautiful. You could play around with them more than that, but right now, as far as I'm concerned, they're both firing simultaneously from the inside out, evenly. If I wanted to play around off camera, I would play around with this coil a little bit more, just pinching it on that inside. This is where I would play around with it. Just like that. I feel like it was gapped too much. Now let's see how it glows. Very nice. Now we got our good coil and the not so good coil. Let's take another look at the pulse. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Doesn't get any better than that. Okay, so let's go ahead and wick it. Japanese cotton. So wicking for RTAs is a little bit different than wicking for RDAs or RBAs. We're going to cut a nice fat strip And then we're going to get rid of these outer thick layers. I just want the fluffy inside. I don't want this. See how it's not woven, but it's very thick. And all I want is the fluff on the inside. So I'm getting rid of this. Okay. Now I got a nice fluffy inside. That's actually even kind of too thick. I'll thin this out a little bit. Yeah, that's perfect. Nice and fluffy. We don't want to compress this. I'm just rolling it a little bit to get these fibers sort of behaving. We got rid of those dense outer layers. And now I have some nice fluffy cotton. It's very important to keep that cotton fluffy so it wicks well. So important. It should slide very easily through. It should not be snug. And all I want, that's even a little bit too tight, quite frankly. It's not going to wick well. If it's that tight, it should even be looser. So I'm going to give it a little bit more of a haircut. Why am I showing you this on camera? Because when you get down to it and you buy this tank and you work, and any RTA you're working with, you're going to be sitting there trying to figure out, well, Daryl did it and made it look so easy. How come it doesn't happen that easy for me? Because I maybe didn't show you the troubleshooting. So here we go. That makes a difference. That little bit I trimmed makes a big difference. Here, watch. Oh yeah, because if it's pinched, then it's not going to wick well. And all I want is for it to sit right in to that cup there. And I'm going to go at an angle. Okay, watch. Here's how much wick I want. I want not even filling that. I just want it to sit in there. So I want halfway up would be right there. And I'll give it an angle too. Okay, so look at what this is going to do. It's thicker up here, thinner over there. So the thin part will sit right in there. And then these wisps, yeah, they tuck down right to the base. That's even a little long. That's fine. So now watch. Let me put a little juice on here and show you what's going to happen. This is so crucial. These little details are so critical. I do not want to smush this down. I'll put a little juice on there, let that soak in. Let me get the other side. So the other side here, I don't even want it going all the way down to the bottom of the deck. That's it. There we go. That right there. Now do you see this angle? I cut it at an angle so it's thinner down here, thicker up here. I do need some cotton up top there to absorb just in case. And then all I need is the little wispy to get down into there. That's even a little too long. That is... Now this may not seem like a lot. Watch. I was not satisfied. Believe it or not, cutting off that little amount, it changes it. And it's very important you get these right. So what do we got? Nice and fluffy. I'm nice and fluffy. I got this. It tucks down into the channel. All right. It's going to tuck down into that channel. And I don't need it going and filling the whole thing. Gravity will pull it down in there. So watch. Now that it's juiced up, I could shape it into position. There we go. Right there. Right there. Juice is going to come right up through there. Hit that. Boom. It's not going to flow past because the cotton's blocking the channel but not obstructing it. This side didn't come out as good. I prefer a little bit more of an angle actually, but it's okay. It'll work. That'll work. Okay, the other side now. Here's the rest of my wick. So, notice this is still very fluffy. I'm only pinching one side to get it through. Good. That's perfect. So, okay. You see how this is going to, just the tip there is going to get down into there? That's all it needs. There we go. Here we go. Just like that, just like that. Now look, I'm wetting these to show you what it's going to look like when it's on. Normally, I would have just cut them, put the top cap on, and push them down into position. But that's when you can go through the top. Here you can't, so I got to kind of like squeeze them, make sure they're in the right shape, right in the right spot. This is going to press right in. It's going to press right in like this. See that? Let's take this off of here and see. Try and see how this looks as I guide it in. All right. So now I smushed it in a little. I can see where's the cotton going. Okay. That one's fine. That one's fine. Yeah. That one's fine. That one was a little long, but it'll be all right. It's a little long. But at the end of the day, it's going to be just fine. It's a fraction too long. Okay. And it's in. That's it. That's in. This juice over here is actually good for the threads. It's going to lube that up. I put that locking ring. Get that locking ring. Okay. Nice and snug. Airflow wide open. Let's fill this. Oh, but that custard de leche from Adore e-liquids. This fits perfectly in that hole. Nice. Glass dropper bottles, maybe not so nice. I'm just going to fill it halfway up. Let's see how it does. I can always go back because it's top fill and top it off later. There we go. Build on the Bellus tank by Ude. Let's go up top, vape on it, see how
Okay,
it
so here we have the Bellus tank by Ude. I just showed you the up close, showed you the build. Now let's vape on it. I'm vaping on the Wick Mini. Pretty good form factor. It sits nice and flush. Look how tiny, look how cute that setup is. So I was pulsing the coils at 15 watts. And as you saw, it took a while for them to ramp up. That's all you need when you're pulsing coils. But let's start at 15. And I'm in regular wattage mode on the Wick Mini. I like this little guy a lot. And the Bellus tank and the Wick Mini was sent to me by GearBest for the purpose of review. "15 watts is lackluster. Let's go to 22 watts. Better, great flavor. I feel like it can take more power. 30 watts. 30 watts. Nice. It can take more power than that. I'm going to close off some of the airflow. Wow, that flavor is really good. It's very dense. It's very rich. Really nice. I'm going to go to 35 watts. 35 watts. That flavor is incredible. I don't know if it's the rifling on the inside of the tank. I have the airflow shut about halfway, but the flavor is incredible. That was a nice long draw. That tank keeps up with wicking, and the airflow keeps up with the vape. I'll tell you, that's very enjoyable. All right, this is not a cloud chasing tank. This is a flavor tank. I get just as good flavor on this as I do dripping. So they are correct about that. Let's go to 40 watts. See if it can handle 40 watts. Now normally I do spaced coils. This is contact coils where they're pressed tightly together. Now it's producing Flavor's still great. I think 40 watts is probably about max for this build. There's a little too much airflow with it wide open, so let me cut it off. I'm going to cut off about a third of the airflow holes. I don't know if you could see that. Starts to get hot there towards the end, but that was like a 3 to 5 second pull. Really, really delicious flavor. I'm really enjoying this. What a nice setup. So that is the Bellus tank from Wick Technologies. Thank you very much to GearBest for sending this to me for a review. I hope you liked my video. Thank you very much for watching Quest for Vape.